So today I'm here to teach you not how to dance, but I'm here to teach you about a new way to handle subscriptions and notifications. So my name is Deborah Fuzetto, and I am a technical architect. I work for Forum One. I also do a lot of side jobs for Drupal. I've been working with Drupal for more than 17 years. I was really surprised when I looked at my D.O profile that it had been more than 17 years already. So been a long time since I've been working with Drupal. Like I said, I'm a technical architect right now at Forum One, and my job mostly is to lead teams to build out websites. So we come across a lot of different, it's an agency, so we come across a lot of different clients that have a lot of different needs. And one of the needs, obviously, is subscriptions and notifications. So what is DANSE? DANSE, it's aiming to be like a go-to framework for all of your subscription and notification needs. So it provides comprehensive tools for auditing, notifications, subscriptions, and event tracking. It operates under like an event-driven model, so where something happens, like a node is created or a node is saved, and then an event is created that says, hey, this node has been created or this node has been updated. And then after this event has been created, then we do something. So the background of the DANSE module was created by Jürgen Haas, and he had a project that was creating a web portal for onboarding real estate agents and providers and stakeholders. And notifications were their key features. From what I've been understanding, I've chatted with him a little bit, and he looked into a lot of the different solutions that Drupal had to offer, and decided that a framework for notifications and subscriptions would actually serve his purpose better and actually provide a better solution. Now, the project that I'm working on it's also a web portal where there's hundreds of contributors, and these contributors will create content and update content. And in order to keep the content fresh, we have jobs that run that will check to see how current the content is. So has it been updated, or has it just been sitting there for a year? So it goes through these processes of, it goes into different states, like different moderation states. It says, okay, this page hasn't been updated in 6 months. And if it goes 6 months, then it goes into a certain state. And if the editor doesn't make a change, then it goes into another state, and then eventually it will get unpublished. So notifications is really important in this project because these contributors who are presenting this content, this content has an impact on people, and they don't want their content to go away. So they want to know when when their content is getting to a state where it's becoming stale and could possibly not be on the site anymore. So it was really important in this particular project that the users could be notified when their content was getting into these different states. Some of these contributors have lots and lots of different pages, so it's hard for them to just see what state each one of them are in. So as you probably know, there's lots and lots and lots of notification and subscription modules in the Drupal community, contributed modules. This was a search that I did just for Drupal 9 and 10. Searching the word notify, and I got 138 search results and 189 search results for the word subscribe. And this was on the module search list. So there's tons of them out there, and you've probably heard a lot of them. The notify module, there's the whole messenger module, suite of modules. There's message notify, there's comment notify, there's user update notify, there's message subscribe, and form subscribe, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. And the reason why there's so many of them is because not everyone is meeting the needs of everybody else. So if someone looks for a module, and they're like, oh, this is not doing exactly what I wanted to do, so I'm going to create a new module that does exactly what I wanted to do. And then, but everybody's got different business needs. So, that's where I think we ended up with so many of these, because everyone's had a different business need. So what DANSE is trying to do is trying to kind of bring that all together into one framework so you can really do what you want to do. So what are some of the problems that it solves? Content and activity auditing. So keeping track of like every single change that goes on the website. So whether you want to be notified about it or not, DANSE can track every single event that happens on the website. And if the DANSE module doesn't do it, you can extend and create your own events. And if it doesn't specifically, if you have something custom, you can just create your own way of tracking the events. The other problem it solves is user notifications or lack of user notifications. I think what part of some of the problems are is that users are not being notified. So DANSE is allowing site administrators to configure and manage notifications so that they can ensure that the users are receiving these timely alerts about events and updates that are relevant to them. Subscription management is another problem that that DANSE is aiming to solve. So, when a user wants to see what they are subscribing to, so this can be somewhat challenging in Drupal, and sometimes the users don't know how to subscribe or unsubscribe to content. So this is kind of allowing the users to subscribe to specific content types or events or activities, and they can manage their own preferences. It's also a way of enhancing user engagement, so keeping the users engaged. So again, in the case with this website that we're working on, contributors are contributing content, and we want them to keep the content up to date because that brings more visitors to the site, because then they know that they're getting fresh new content. So this is the DANSE architecture, and you'll see this on the DANSE project page. First looking at it, like when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, that looks fine. I don't totally really understand, but I was like, it wasn't really, it's not really scary, but I was like, okay, I don't really totally understand what's going on here by this image. But as we go through this, and I'm going to actually describe what DANSE stands for, and I think that by the time we get done with describing what it is that DANSE actually stands for, and then we come back and look at this, it makes a little bit more sense, or at least it did to me. So DANSE, obviously DANSE is an acronym. So the D in DANSE, Drupal, right? Stands for Drupal. The A is for audit. So the audit provides tools for auditing content and user activities within the site. So this is all of the event activities it's auditing all of the activity that's going on to the site. And this helps track changes and ensure compliance with policies. And the possibilities with this auditing is endless as well. I mean, it provides all this information about events, and there's just a lot of things that you can do with these events and this audit. The next one is notification. So for notification, each recipient receives a notification for each event that gets stored. And then the push framework, so all these notifications get created, but then the push framework is kind of the second part of the DANSE architecture. And the push framework will take all of these notifications and kind of orchestrate them and figure out who needs to get them, making sure that you're not getting like duplicate notifications and things like that. And it can also deliver through different channels. So you can see notifications right on the Drupal site. There's contributed modules that allow you to actually send them an email. But you could also extend that to post to a Slack channel. You could even create a Jira ticket. There's a lot of different channels that these notifications can get pushed out to. And then the S stands for subscription. So subscription facilitates subscription membership. So it enables users to subscribe to content or events and receive updates when changes are made or if there's new information. And then E is the event. So again, the events, this is all notable events that get created with a creation's timestamp and also who made the change. So one of the examples, or one of the things that DANSE can do is it can track like configuration changes. So if somebody's making a configuration change in Drupal, all of that's being tracked. And so you can see what time it was made, who it was made by, and on and on. And it's more than just configuration. It can be logging. You can also create webhooks for external events. And then, of course, also content entities themselves, content being created, content being deleted, users being created, users being deleted. Basically, any action that you're taking in Drupal is an event that can be recorded. So this is kind of more the workflow. So you have an event, like content has been created. And then you have like a recipient selection. A recipient selection is the users that are going to receive the notification for that event. And then the notifications are created, and then the notifications are delivered through the channel. So really, dance is kind of spelled backwards for me. To me, it seems like it's, obviously dance, this nod, not really a great name for a module, but really you start with the event. So it's kind of backwards in a way. So I mentioned the push framework earlier. The push framework handles all these notifications about these events. And it enhances the Drupal module by enabling the real-time scalable notifications. So this again improves the user engagement, and you're informed in whatever way or whatever channel that has been determined for that event. So coming back now to the architecture picture. So the up in the top here where we have event action and notifications, you probably can't read this, but these are all entities. These are all stored as entities in the database. So that makes it a very, Drupal-y way, because we're using entities. And then down at the bottom on the left-hand side, we have what DANSE is responsible for. And then on the right-hand side is what the push framework is responsible for. And then each one of those red boxes, you can't really see that, but that's like a plugin manager. So DANSE out of the box provides plugins for each one of these things, and push framework provides plugins for each one of those things. And this is what makes DANSE really extendable, because you can extend these plugins in any way that you want. So this is basically allowing you to kind of get into any piece of this architecture and change it the way it meets your business needs. So extending DANSE. So you can extend DANSE the event detection. So this is to define new events, and then you write code to handle these events. There is also extending notifications. You can tailor messages based on users' behavior and preferences. So like if the user has preferences that they're interested in, so, I don't know, let's just say skydiving or whatever. So you can create notifications specific based on user preferences. Extending the auditing, that allows you to do more detailed logging of user activities and content changes. So there's already a couple of modules that do extend the DANSE module. One of them is the DANSE content moderation module, because DANSE out of the box will tell you when content is created. It'll also tell you when it's published, but if you have a workflow, it's not going to tell you like when it's going from draft to published. It's just going to say whether it's published or unpublished, on or off kind of thing. It's not really looking at content moderation. So content moderation is basically adding events that are tracking the changes of the moderation. So when you go from draft to publish, an event is going to be created that says that not only did the content get created, but it went from draft to published. So it's tracking those events, and then again, notifications can be created based on those. And that is actually what the second extending the subscriptions, DANSE moderation notifications. This is a module that we're working at Forum 1 right now, because basically what we wanted to do is, like the content moderation notifications module, the regular notifications module, you may have seen it before, but you can create notifications based on transitions. So like if you're going from draft to published, you can notify the owner of the document. You can also say contact this role So like if you're going from draft to ready to review, you might want to, send a notification to the reviewer's role, everybody in the reviewer's role, to let them know that there's a piece of content that's been ready for review. So this basically allows the dance moderation notifications module allows you to have like a more front end interface to create these notifications based on these transitions. And then the last one is the push framework email module, which the push framework itself, like I said, it creates these notifications, but they're just kind of sitting on Drupal. Unless you extend that, it's gonna, it's just gonna sit on Drupal. And this one will actually send out an email. So if you're, like again, with the instance of a content being ready for review, rather than they just get it in their user profile and they see notifications, they're actually going to also receive an email that says, hey, this content has been changed to ready for review, and provide a link, and then they can go and look at it. Okay, so this is actually, I'm going to attempt to do a demo, and now I'm not sure how I'm going to get the screen over here. Let's see if I can. Well, this is going to be hard to do. Maybe I can just bring this on. Oh, so sure.
It's on the other screen.
Oh, it's on that side. Okay, so I need to go. Okay, wait. Okay, there it is. No, but it doesn't let me go to that. Weird.
I think it's probably stop sharing. Click stop sharing.
I just go right here. I'll just bring up this. Okay, so here is a vanilla. Can I share this tab instead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's probably going to put it on the recording. You can see that.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just a plain vanilla website. Well, I can't get to my notes either, but I think I can do this without. All right, let's just try this. All right, anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to take a look at what dance modules we have. Okay, so this is the dance content moderation notifications module that Form 1 is working on right now. We also have the dance content moderation, which creates events for moderation transitions. And then these are all the modules that come out of the box with dance. So right now I only have dance content and dance user on, but I can turn on any of these other ones and it'll start tracking events for configuration, forms, logs, and then there's also webhooks that you can do for event creation for remote. So right now I just have the content and user, and I just built this website. I had configurations already installed when I created this site. So if you come over to the events, so this is the audit piece of it. Okay, so just installing Drupal and having those two modules turned on, I've already got, you can already see events. You can already see, like, the top one here is just me logging into the website. These other things here are permissions added. So these are different permissions that were added to roles. And these events were created just because I had those modules turned on. All of these events are being tracked, but right now there's really nothing that is happening with these events. They're just being tracked. And you can do whatever you want with these events. You know, they don't have to, if you're just looking to just see what the activity is on your site, then the auditing, can be very useful. But what you're more likely going to want to do is open this up to allow people to subscribe to it. So if we go to the view profile for this user, so we see two new tabs over here. We see subscriptions and we see notifications. So if we go to subscriptions right now, you see here that we have a couple of subscriptions that are available. but I don't have any, I haven't subscribed to any yet right now. And then the notifications is over here, and I don't have any notifications because I'm not subscribed to it. You can also see there's another widget up here that also kind of gives you the number of notifications. So let's go over to subscriptions here, and let's go ahead and subscribe to these things. And subscribe to all of them. Okay, so now if we go over and create a piece of content, okay, we'll leave it in the draft state. Okay, now if we come back over to events, so we see a new event. So we see that content has been created. Okay, and now these options over here, this is basically saying that it's a push event. We're not forcing it, or it's not silenced, but it has not been processed yet. So all of the stuff within cron, within DANSE is triggered on cron. So this helps with performance too. So things like creating the event is really a small action. It's not really doing anything, but to process it, it goes through a little bit more programming. So doing it on the cron actually will do this one first. Well, keep it from having a performance effect on your site. So now if we come back to events over here, we should see that all these have been processed. So now they've been processed. So now if I come back over to my user profile, and you can also see it up here, now I have a notification. Okay, so here's my notification that on this date, the topic is created, and then this is the label, which is the name of the event, or the name of the content that was created, and then it'll mark whether or not it's been seen or not. So you can filter by that too. So like this list can be, can grow quite large. And a lot of times we compare these notifications to, like, if anyone's, I'm probably sure most of you guys have used Jira or some sort of ticketing program like that, and you get notifications like when someone tags you, or when the ticket's been updated, or the ticket transitions to something else, and there's all these notifications. It does sort of the same kind of thing here. So you're basically getting the notifications, but you can go look at them whenever you want to, and then you just mark them and see when you're after you've seen them. So one thing I wanted to go back and show again here. So if we look at the events again, so we can see here that the plugin right here is the content plugin, and this is the content plugin that comes with DANSE. And the topic is created. The topic is really like what the action was. So the action was content was created, right? Now, if I come back over here and publish it, okay, and then we go back to events again. So again, now you're seeing again, it's the same content plugin, and now it's been published. So you see here that it has nothing to do with draft, or the moderation state is not really in here. So let's go and let's just enable the moderation. So we're going to now enable the DANSE content moderation module. Okay, so now let's go back to our content. And let's just archive it. Okay, and we'll come back over to events. So now we're seeing that the plugin is content moderation, because that's the plugin from the content moderation module. And here the topic is now actually archived. Now you'll also see that there also was an event created by DANSE that just updated it. It doesn't say that it was archived. It doesn't even say that it was unpublished, which is kind of odd. You think it would even say unpublished. But this is giving you more information now. So now, again, if we come back and publish it again. Go back. Oh, here, yeah, published. Oh, where is it? Okay, it's okay here. It's down here. So we have actually 3 events that happened during this. So content moderation created an event saying that it was published, and then the regular dance module said that it was updated, but it was also published. So we're getting multiple events just by changing that moderation state. Again, you can see that there's still a lot of things that have not been processed. So again, all you would have to do is run a prompt. And that will process all that. And then when you go back to your now here, we should see some notifications. Well, we're not seeing. Okay, we're not seeing any further moderation because we don't have that turned on, but we do see that it has been updated. So we got another notification that it's updated. Okay, one other thing that on the module side that so the push framework is the other set of modules. There's really only the one main module, which is this push framework, this is basically, receives all of the notifications and then determines how they should be delivered to whoever is supposed to receive them. And then this is the push framework email module that you can turn on in order to send an email as opposed to just posting it to the website. The push framework works with the queue manager. Yeah, so you're going to see a push framework queue here, and then you can go in here and you can list the jobs here. And this also shows you the payload. So the payload is got the information in here about the event, and then these are just the notifications that have gone out. So these are actually in conjunction with the 2 notifications that you see on my profile page. Again, with the push notifications, so when you're thinking about the whole process of this, the event gets created, the cron has to run in order for those events to create the notifications, and then cron has to run again in order to deliver those notifications. So that's one thing that when you're working with the dance modules, when I first started working with this, I was like, nothing's happening. You have to keep running the cron because the cron, and it might not, if you've got a ton of stuff, it might not run all of your jobs at once. You might have to run it multiple times. So that's definitely a key thing to know there is that cron is really important. Okay, so that is, I don't even know how to get back to my slides, but that's the end of my demo here. Oh, here, okay.
You wanted to share this tab.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's all coming together. So hopefully all of this has kind of pieced all these pieces together. The architecture is, it may look complicated, but it's actually not complicated because of the way that it's been broken out, and it makes it, because it was done in such a Drupal way and it's using Drupal entities for events and notifications and subscriptions, it makes it really easy to extend, and it makes it really easy to be able to do whatever it is that your business needs are. And that's all I have. Any questions? We have lots of questions. Let's start here.
So first of all, thanks for rolling with the AV challenges.
Yeah,
doing
that's
live
right.
demos when everything's not working perfectly. You did a great job. Can you talk about the overlap with this and ECA, which is also another one of Jürgen's projects? I saw when you put on the push framework, ECA push, but how does this relate to the event condition actions?
Yeah, event condition actions, I mean, that's kind of out of the scope of this presentation. I have not actually worked with the ECA module, but there is integration with DANSE and the ECA module. So, I mean, I would suggest, he has a a blog, I think it's liquid.com, that talks about the ECA module and the integration with DANSE.
Okay, so you're just using DANSE, but you're not using.
No,
ECA.
we're not
Okay.
using, no, we're not using the ECA. No. But that's a great question, and yeah, I know that he's doing a lot of work right now with integrating those, and I think that this is just a, the ECA, provides a more extended way to use DANSE. We have another one over here.
So I'm curious, if you're working with multiple Drupal sites in the same ecosystem, is there a way to combine the events you're seeing in your profile events across multiple Drupal sites?
Yes, well, I mean, there are ways to push notifications to external events. So I would think that you could probably write a plugin that would push it to another event, possibly, or to another Drupal site. Yeah, I think that would be doable. Yeah. Let me come over here first.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's really helpful. One, I know a couple of modules that kind of overlap with this functionality. We previously used events log track, which kind of provides a report with everything, or every configuration change, user log in, user log out, something like that, and content creation as well. We actually ported it into another module. It's called admin audit trail.
Admin audit.
Yeah, so the nice thing about DANSE is that it plugs in with the push framework, which is really helpful. One thing I noticed that it's not in the screenshots at least, or in the demo that you showed us in DANSE, is that there's no log for the actor. For instance, the user who did this action and the IP of the user. Versus those modules, they didn't provide that. Is this something available in DANSE?
So on the page there, but it is the information is there. The information of who created it is there in the database. Now, the the DANSE events page that I kept showing is not showing that. It's not showing the information of like who saved it, but it's in the database. So that would be a way. That would be one of the reasons why you might want to extend the logging to pull out the information. In fact, one of the things, and you'll notice, again, I'm not sure how to switch screens, but you notice that the interface for this is very plain and vanilla, very kind of boring, kind of like a lot of stuff that comes out of Drupal out of the box, right? So what you have to do is you have to take this information and do something cool with it. So what we're planning to do with ours is kind of make little cards, sort of, that says, okay, here's a notification and it's got all this information about like who created it, when it got created, what, like if it was content that was created, we're pulling in what content type it was. You can pull in other information to display on that.
Because in sites we built, these modules that we use, I mentioned, it really helps us in the audit track. For instance, when a client sometimes by mistake deletes content, and they reach out to us, oh, where did this content go, and such. So it always shows who the user who deleted it, the IP, the timestamp, and everything. As long as it's being logged, I think that.
Yeah, the UUID is definitely in the database because we definitely pulled that out.
I think
I'm not sure why they don't slide.
Another cool feature, probably, it's probably not there, but it might be an interesting plugin to add to DANSE. Kind of like a digest email for subscriptions rather than an email or like an action for every single event.
Yeah, and there is a module that, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it uses views that will create a, like, and this DANSE events is just a view, it's just a Drupal view, it's not, I mean, it has some back-end DANSE stuff that's pulling in some custom stuff, but it is a view and you can add it, so, but there's a module that's, it's a views module, but it'll basically take like a listing, like say user number 2, you want to see what all the notifications are, and then it'll create like a little list of that and then drop it in an email. And so that this thing kind of digests. Yeah. So there's modules that you can add on to work to do that kind of digesting. Back in the purple?
Thanks. Just first thing, I just added user ID to the view just by editing the source that you can possibly see.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I added user ID just by editing the view in 2 seconds here.
Oh, yeah,
It's
right.
possible.
Yep, and you can relate the user group, the user to pull out of the information yet.
Have you done anything with config, like auditing config changes? Because right now, when you out of the box, it appears that it just shows a blank screen for what it's auditing. It shows that there was a change, but it's not auditing anymore. I don't know if you use.
On the configuration, I'm not quite sure, but one thing I didn't show is that, so with the content, and I know that configuration has something similar to this, but if you go into your content types, there is a tab here, and you see this on the user tab too, and